I decided that I will fast travel to cut out the walking, but as soon as I'm done, put it on survival. Like if the objective's on the other side of the freaking map, then yeah, I'll fast travel. But if it's close nearby, I'll walk.
I'm impressed you could find a moth priest so quickly. For the reading? Yeah. Just let the old man know when you're ready.
What can I do for you?
Glad you're here safely.
Ah, my rescuer. It's good to see you again.
Have they made you feel comfortable around here?
It's not exactly the hospitality I'm used to, but your man Isran has seen to my needs well enough. And might I add, this is a remarkable fortress. I have colleagues back home that would love to study this place in detail.
Are you ready to read the scroll?
Oh, most certainly. Let's find out what secrets the scroll can tell. Now, if everyone will please be quiet, I must concentrate. I see a vision before me. An image of a great bow. I know this weapon. It is Oriel's bow. Now a voice whispers, saying, "Among the night's children, a dread lord will rise. In an age of strife, when dragons return to the realm of men, darkness will mingle with light, and the night and the day will be as one." The voice fades and the words begin to shimmer and distort. But wait, there is more here. The secret of the bow's power is written elsewhere. I think there is more to the prophecy, recorded in other scrolls. Yes, I see them now. One contains the ancient secrets of the dragons, and the other speaks of the potency of ancient blood. My vision darkens, and I see no more. To know the complete prophecy, we must have the other two scrolls. I must rest now. The reading has made me weary.
Come on, old man. You should get some rest.
Do you have a moment to talk?
Sure. What's on your mind?
That moth priest, Dexian. He said we needed 2 other Elder Scrolls. I think I know where we can start looking.
I already have one, but why didn't you say something about the other earlier?
Half the people in your little crew would just as soon kill me as talk to me. That doesn't exactly make me want to open up. I got a warmer welcome from my father, and that's saying something.
Do you trust your dad at all?
It's not a question of trust. He's just obsessed with the prophecy. And from what I could tell, 1,000 extra years of obsession haven't made him any better. I should have found a
1,000?
hobby. I don't even think he sees me as his daughter anymore. I'm just a means to an end.
So where's the scroll?
We need to find my mother, Valerica. She'll definitely know where it is. And if we're lucky, she actually has it herself.
But you say you didn't know where she went.
The last time I saw her, she said that she'd go somewhere safe. Somewhere that my father would never search. Other than that, she wouldn't tell me anything. But the way she said it, someplace he would never search. It was cryptic, yet she called attention to it.
She's being cautious.
Maybe. What I can't figure out is why she said it that way. Besides, I can't imagine a single place my father would avoid looking. And he's had all this time, too. Any ideas?
The castle, maybe?
Wait, that almost makes sense. There's a courtyard in the castle. I used to help her tend a garden there. All of the ingredients for our potions came from there. She used to say that my father couldn't stand the place. Too peaceful.
Isn't it pretty risky staying there, though?
Oh, absolutely. But my mother's not a coward. That is, I don't think we'll actually trip over her there, but it's worth a look.
Well, they're not gonna let us to the front door.
True. But I know a way we can get to the courtyard without arousing suspicion. There's an unused inlet on the
Sneaky little
northern side of
minx.
the island that was used by the previous owners to bring supplies into the castle. An old escape tunnel from the castle exits there. I think that's our way in.
Well, let's go.
It's around the side of the castle. Let's move.
I wish the fast travel would work like it does in Fallout 76. You know, you have to pay like some gold to fast travel. You know?
Yes? What did you need?
Were you and your mother close?
Before my father became obsessed with a prophecy, my mother and I spent quite a bit of time together. She was very fond of her alchemical garden in the castle courtyard. She taught me quite a bit about cultivating quality regions.
So you always got along.
Like the best of friends. I would never hesitate to share anything with her.
But then it all changed.
It was very sudden. It was almost like one day we were a normal family, and then the next, I didn't know who they were. I'd try to visit my mother in the garden, and she'd quickly shoo me away, saying she was much too busy.
That's why we're heading there?
She had to be up to something in that garden. I'm hoping it's a clue that will tell us where she went.
What can you tell me about your family?
There's not a whole lot to tell. You've already seen my father's obsession. My mother's not a whole lot better, but you'll see that soon enough.
Were you close with them?
My father... No, not really. I did spend a lot of time with my mother, but she saw me more like a protege than a daughter. What about you? What were your parents like?
Never knew them.
I know how that feels. I mean, I know it isn't the same thing, but I was a pretty lonely child myself.
You still feel lonely?
Not as much. Let's just keep going.
Alright. Slowly getting in there, boys. Yes, I'm planning on seducing her and
Yeah,
making
just
her
around
my
this bend.
wife. Just gotta play it by ear.
Castle looks so big from down here. I mean, it is big, but, well, even bigger.
That was a draugr. Why are they calling that a skeleton.
Done and done.
Did you spend a lot of time down here?
I like to explore. My parents almost never let me off the island, so yeah, I poked around down here a lot. It was a little quieter back then. Guess the little vampire girl was enough to scare off the rats.
Sounds like you were a weird little kid.
I was, but I think I turned out okay.
You did. Talk about being lonely a lot.
Well, growing up the way I did, you get used to
What
it.
the fuck are you doing? Do you still feel that
A
way?
little bit. That's one of the reasons I wanted to come with you. But what about you?
What about me?
Do you get lonely? Are there people in your life?
I try not to rely on others.
Does it bother you that I'm here?
No, I'm glad you're here.
Me too. Anyway, this is all very touching, but don't we have some more important things to worry about right now?
This is something that's always bothered me about this. Alright, the dialogue options like that, you know, you would think would lead up to a romance. But no, you have to actually use a mod to put the option to marry her into the game. That don't make sense, especially with dialogue options like that. It's like they started to do it, and then at the last moment they said, nah, let's not.
Who's there?
Ow!
Done and done. Who's there? Right there.
I'm not already hungry. Find a forge.
Who's there? Done and done. What was that? Who's there? That'll teach you.
No dagger.
Yes? What did you need?
Need to
Anything
give you
good?
something. And it seems you could use this more than I.
I can't wait to see the courtyard again.
Huh.
Yes? What did you need? This better not be all the things you just can't be bothered with.
I'm being nice and giving you something to protect your hands. Right.
I can't wait to see the courtyard again. Yes? What did you need? Take a left up here. This is one of those weird double-barred security measures that my father put in when he got more paranoid. Who's... I knew I heard something. Done and done.
Said take a left. I took a left.
Yes? What did you need? Who's there? I knew I heard something. Right there. This leads out to the courtyard. Just head for the door. We've made it to the courtyard. Oh no. What happened to this place? Everything's been torn down. The whole place looks, well, dead. It's like we're the first to set foot here in centuries. This used to lead into the castle's great hall. Looks like my father had it sealed up. I used to walk through here after evening meals. It was beautiful once. This was my mother's garden. Do you know how beautiful something can be when it's tended by a master for hundreds of years? She would have hated to see it like this. Wait. Something's wrong with the moon dial here. Some of the crests are missing and the dial is askew. I didn't even know the crests could be removed. Maybe my mother's trying to tell us something. I'm telling you, there's something strange with the moon dial.
What happened here?
If I had to guess, I'd say the moment Mother fled the castle, Father went on a rampage. Knowing him, anything at all that reminded him of her was just destroyed.
Then he just walled it off.
It appears that way. I suppose he wanted to put the past behind him. Perhaps if he had spent more time with us, he would have recognized the beauty for himself.
What's so special about the moon
Well,
dial?
as far as I'm aware, it's the only one in existence. The previous owners of the castle had a sundial in the courtyard, and obviously that didn't appeal to my mother. She persuaded an elven artisan to make some improvements. You can see the plates that show the phases of the moons, Maser and Secunda.
Did it work?
That's the thing. What's the point of a moon dial? I always wondered why she didn't just have the whole thing ripped out. But she loved it. I don't know. I guess it's like having a piece of art, if you're into that sort of thing.
So what exactly am I doing to it?
Hard to say. Maybe if we found the missing crests, we could figure it out.
Ah,
Look around for the missing crests. Even in this mess, they should stick out. If we had the crests, we wouldn't have to keep hanging around this lovely place. Very clever, Mother. Very clever. I've never been in those tunnels before, but I'd bet they'd run right under the courtyard and into the tower ruins. Well, at least we're getting closer. Let's go. Yes? Turns out my mother was sneakier than I thought. I wonder what she's hiding. We're getting close. I'm sure of it.
Do you know anything about this place?
I'd always just assumed that the other tower was completely destroyed inside. My mother kept this a secret, even from me. She must have been up to something she thought was dangerous.
Nah.
Turns out my mother was sneakier than I thought. I wonder what she's hiding.
Your Honor,
I've never
you
even
shoot
seen
that
this part of the
knife one
castle
more
before.
time.
Be careful. I don't know what might be around. I knew I heard something.
So I need to go there, but what's over here? Not a damn thing.
Who's there? I knew I heard something. Teach you. Who's there? Something. That'll teach you. Done and done. Who's there? You're not getting the best of me. Who's there? That'll teach you. Who's there? Done and done. Where'd you come from?
Why are there gargoyles here?
Not that I ever saw. My mother had a bit of a thing for magical constructs. Not what you're thinking. She just found them fascinating. Turns out my mother was sneakier than I thought. I wonder what she's hiding.
Yo!
Knew I heard something.
Yo!
Who's there?
Yo!
That'll teach you.
Yo!
Where'd you
Yo!
Where'd you
Yo!
Where'd you come from? Who's there? Where'd you That'll teach you. I don't think we've reached the top yet. I bet there's some kind of secret passage around here. All right, let's see what you have. Turns out my mother was sneakier than I thought. I wonder... She's hiding. Leave it to my mother. Always smarter than I gave her credit for. Look at the... I knew she was deep into necromancy. I mean, she taught me everything I know. But I had no idea she had a setup like this. Look at all this. She must have spent years collecting these components. And what's this thing? I'm not sure about this circle, but it's obviously something. Let's take a look around. There has to be something here that tells us where she's gone.
What exactly are we looking for?
My mother was meticulous about her research. If we can find her notes, there might be some hints in there.
Mother maintained quite a laboratory.
I had no idea her laboratory even existed. She had an alchemy set up in her drawing room, but nothing that even comes close to what's here.
What did she research?
Looking at the equipment and materials, it looks like she was trying to advance her necromancy.
To what end?
I don't know. Certainly not longevity. Kind of a waste of time for a vampire. I remember she used to keep a small journal. See if you can dig it up. Any luck yet?
Here you go.
You did? Let me see them. I only know what she told me. She had a theory about soul gems, that the souls inside of them don't just vanish when they're used. They end up in the soul cairn. The soul cairn is home to very powerful beings. Necromancers send them souls and receive powers of their own in return. My mother spent a lot of time trying to contact them directly, to travel to the soul cairn itself.
Well, we'll find her.
That circle in the center of the room is definitely some type of portal. If I'm reading this right, there's a formula here that should give us safe passage into the soul cairn.
What do we need?
A handful of soul gem shards, some finely ground bone meal, a good bit of purified void salts. Oh, damn it.
What's wrong?
We're also going to need a sample of her blood, which, if we could get that, we wouldn't even be trying to do this in the first place.
You're her daughter, by blood.
Not bad. We'd better hope that's good enough. Mistakes with these kind of portals can be gruesome. Anyway, enough of that. Let's get started.
Those ingredients here, or do I need to go somewhere else?
Oh, definitely. Mother would have plenty of those materials in her laboratory. You just need to find them. Having trouble finding those ingredients?
Anything you can tell me about this place?
The Soul Cairn is a tiny sliver of Oblivion, the realm of the Daedra. It's ruled by unseen beings known as the Ideal Masters.
What's so great about it?
Honestly, I don't know. Necromancers are always interested in souls, though, so that probably has some kind of interest.
What are these Ideal Masters?
Nobody really knows. As far as I've heard, no one's seen them and returned to Tamriel to tell about it.
Do they even exist, then?
I've read stories. Stories about fools that manage to communicate with them. You give the Ideal Masters souls, they give you powers to summon the undead. It's all very businesslike.
Why are they fools?
Because most of the stories end with the Ideal Masters duping the necromancers, who end up dead or wishing they were dead.
Nice.
They shouldn't be that hard to find. Shelves, tables, they should be easy to find. She wouldn't have hidden them. Get the ingredients in that vessel and let me know when you're ready. Then the rest is up to me. Are you ready to go? I'm not entirely sure what this thing is going to do when I add my blood.
Can I ask you some questions first?
Of course. What is it?
What will you do when we find your mother?
I've been asking myself the same thing since we came back to the castle. She was so sure of what we did to my father. I couldn't help but go along with her. I never thought of the cost.
Sounds like she was trying to protect you.
Possibly. I guess even a vampire mother is still a mother. She worried about me. About all of us. But she wanted to get me as far away from my father as possible before he really went over the edge.
Won't know until we find her.
Yes, you're right. I'm sorry. I just didn't expect anyone to care how I felt about her. Thank you. Are we ready then?
Let's open this bish.
All right, here goes. By the blood of my ancestors. She actually did it. Created a portal to the Soul Cairn. Incredible.
Oh, alright. Ow, ow, ow,
All
ow,
right,
ow.
that looked painful.
Shit! Help.
Now that I think about it, I should have expected that. Sorry. It's hard to describe. The Soul Cairn is... well, hungry, for lack of a better word. It's trying to take your life essence as payment.
So... I'm screwed then.
There might be, but I don't think you're going to like it. Vampires aren't counted among the living. I could probably go through there without a problem.
You saying I have to be a vampire?
Not your first choice, I'd guess?
Not yet, anyways.
Maybe. We could just pay the toll another way. It wants a soul, so we give it a soul. Yours.
Say what?
My mother taught me a trick or two. I could partially soul trap you and offer that gem to the ideal masters. It might be enough to satisfy them. It would make you a bit weaker when we travel through the Soul Cairn, but we might be able to fix that once we're inside. Maybe.
Those my only options?
I'm sorry. I wish I knew a better way, something that would be easier for you. Just know that whatever path you choose, I won't think any less of you. Sometimes things just have to be done. I know that better than anybody.
Alright.
Have you made up your mind?
Mm-hmm. Soul trap me.
Are you sure? I'm willing to do it, but you need to think it through. You'll remain mortal, but you'll find yourself weakened within the Soul Cairn.
I'm ready.
I know this is difficult for you. I hope you trust me. I'd never do anything that could hurt you.
I trust you.
Thank you. Let's not waste any more time then. I promise to make this as painless as possible. Hold still. Let's keep moving. I feel like we're being watched.
Health max go. 45 points? God damn. At least I won't get hungry or anything. You know anything about this place?
Just what my mother told me. I've also studied a little bit on my own, but there's not much. When something is trapped in a soul gem, and then the energy is used for powering an enchantment, the remnants are sent here.
Any soul gem?
Well, I think it's specifically the black ones. I don't know if the soul cairn takes just any leftovers.
Does anything live here?
Look at this place. Do you think anything would want to live here? The only things that can survive here are the ideal masters, the undead, and the souls themselves. Well, if you want to call that living.
Do you think, your mother has the scroll?
No. But there's no way she would have left it in Tamriel. She wanted to get it as far away from my father as possible. I can't imagine a better place.
And if she doesn't have it?
Then we find out where she hid it. If she's still alive. Well, as alive as she was before. Or is now. Or... you know what I mean.
Yeah. Why not hide it in here and then return?
Probably to avoid whatever my father would do to her if he could get his hands on her. Or maybe her plan was to come back, but she was stuck here. We won't know until we find her.
Do you think we'll meet these master fellows?
I don't think anyone's ever met the Ideal Masters. I'm not even sure anyone knows what they look like. They could be underground, flying above us. They might be the ground, I have no idea.
Why are they collecting these souls then?
Lots of theories. Some say they feed on them like I feed on blood. Others think they use them as payment to an even higher power, almost like a currency. A very strange currency. Whatever they're doing with them, they've been harvesting for millennia. No telling how many souls are trapped here.
That is true. Why would anyone want to fuck with them then?
Look around you. There are some extremely powerful undead here. Even a necromancer as seasoned as my mother would be willing to spend years trying to gain access to them.
Summon them, you mean?
Exactly. It's a lost art. Most necromancers just raise up whatever bodies are nearby. A simple trick, really. Child's play. But bringing something from the soul cairn gives you something much more powerful.
How do they talk to them?
Ah, that's usually the trick. It's possible to do it through a simple portal. But to finalize the deal, you have to travel here yourself. And most of them never come back.
Alright then. Well, this is going to be the end of the episode. Bye.